In the world of Silent Hill F, there are three major topics in which the game brings up. And those topics are Japanese mythology, Japanese honor, and substance abuse. Now, before we get into it, yes, it might be a little bit of a broad topic, but believe me, there is more than one case of that in the world of Silent Hill F. Also, this is for educational purposes only, just in case YouTube does something really fucked up. So, just letting you know. Now, I know that back when the game first came out, people were talking about how the game supposedly was about feminism, and while the main character is female, I don't believe the game is about that. At least not as a major plot point. But regardless, let's jump into the first topic. In the village of Ebisugaoka, its people originally worshipped the 1,000-year-old cedar tree known as the Senentsugi. Now, in modern day Ebisugaoka, as to when the main game actually takes place in, there is a shrine northeast of where you actually see this tree. And you can go up to it, not to the actual building part itself, but you can go up close to it in normal gameplay. Well, the tree itself was struck by lightning, and the Kitsune Kyuubi ended up taking over the overall faith of the people of Ebisugaoka, and the main Kitsune behind the faith of Inari is the Kyuubi. Now, you know what the Kyuubi is because you end up having to fight it towards the end of at least a couple of the routes. So that is quite interesting. There was actually a third faith that really should have happened but never did happen. It should have happened before Kyuubi, which is the Sacred Sword. There isn't as much information in game. There is some information, but honestly it should have taken over before in Kyuubi did, though that didn't happen. As you start up the game, you might find the father, Kanta Shimizu, to be not really that great because he, regardless of New Game, and I think it was called Extra New Game or something close to that, yelling at Hinako. Now, there is a reason why, and it's mainly because of him being drunk. And anytime he's yelling at her, even outside of the initial cutscene, he is intoxicated. Now, this is not a one-time thing, and there is a reason why he does that, and only in the final main ending area, when you end up fighting both both your best friend and the Kyuubi, do you find out that early in life, when he was, I think he was a teenager, him and his friend were actually saving up money in order to open up a candy store in the village. And that was a dream of Kanta. And as they were almost able to get the money for the shop, his friend ended up stealing the money and leaving the village, doing Kanta great dishonor. And yeah, basically he became depressed. And the only way he knew how to deal with it was something nearby. And since they didn't have, psychiatrist or anybody who really knew how to handle that kind of situation, he ended up getting into, alcohol, which is one of the reasons why you see the poster in the back alley of one of the areas. Hotaru beer. That still sticks in my mind a little bit because of how I kept talking about it. But yeah, anytime he's yelling, he's drunk. Now, whenever he sobers up, he wants to do right by his wife and his daughter by profusely apologizing to them. He's actually is shown through that same route in the game, profusely apologizing to Hinako in the Hell House at the end of the game. So he's not as bad of a father as some people believe he is. Now, throughout the game, Hinako ends up finding these red capsules. And after the first time, when you get chased by the monster in the wedding outfit, that's the best way to put it. She goes and says, "Oh, I still have the capsule that my friend gave me." Well, that is not your standard medicine. It's supposed to be a medication for headaches. Now, the thing is, I don't remember exactly 100% if he was actually in a family of physicians that was able to prescribe medication. I believe he might have been. Correct me if I'm wrong. But him being able to do that openly, I believe was the only with him being part of a physician's family, is the only way he was able to do that. And Hinako is not the only one who's ever gotten these red capsules. There have actually been other people who've gotten these other the red capsules. And the radio in that little closed off area past the initial run is proof of that, because for some reason they thought a monster had destroyed the bridge. That is false. That was another person who ended up destroying the bridge. It's also mentioned when you actually get into the house after the mannequin portion of the game, or the scarecrow portion of the game, that the bridge leading out of the village had been destroyed. And another indicator of it not being what you believe it is actually at the end of the game. It actually causes hallucinations. Now, why is that? If you beat the end boss, the initial end boss of the game, without dying, and you head towards the exit, Hinako actually flashes in between the Dark Shrine and Ebisu Gauka. And that is the biggest indicator of the red capsules causing hallucinations. She was addicted to that medication because of her wanting to probably just escape the current reality, because she thought that her father was worse than he actually was. So that is why she kept doing that. She kept wanting the headache medication from her friend. So yeah. And that is it for today's video. Next week we will be covering DC and Sonic issue number 2. So yes. Until next time, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.